Hi there everyone. Welcome to Fingers, Fums and Fits, and in today's episode of TTPITL I will be painting some Drukhari Mandrakes for Warhammer 40,000, from the Kill Team Nightmare box. Can I keep the paint inside the lines? Let's find out. Before we begin, I would like to give a shout out to the War Hipster, whose method I have adapted here. I am a big fan of his work, and he has some great contrast painting videos, so I do urge you to go and check his videos out. I have linked his channel in the video description. So, these are the 5 models I will be painting. I got these from a seller on eBay, so it's not the complete set, but I assembled them as the 5 specialists so we could vary it up a little. However, these are the 2 I will be focusing on in this video, as I think we can go through details that cover the whole squad with ease. Mostly. So let's begin. I started with an undercoat of Corax White. Before applying Black Legion to the skin. I did this now, as it would be easier to tidy up mistakes at this stage. I painted the underskirt with Guilliman flesh, and the outer skirting with Gore Grunta fur. Blood Angels red was applied to the ropes around their waists. Before I painted the weapons. The husk blades were painted Corax White and washed with Skeleton Horde, while the claves got some lead belcher with a Nuln oil wash. And any balefire was given 2 coats of striking Scorpion Green. And whilst that was drying, I applied Luxion Purple to any weapon grips. Before the models got bathed in Nuln oil. This wasn't just to shade the hair, but the skin as well. And the outer skirts got a wash of Reikland flesh shade, just to add a bit of warmth to that Gore Grunta fur. Before it was time to turn our attention to that shroud. Firstly, it got a coat of Sigvald Burgundy, inside and out. And then Shyish Purple on the areas between the spines. Valleys? Flats? Depressions? Basically, anywhere that wasn't raised. And finally, for the moment, a wash of Carroburg Crimson over the whole shroud, to tie the colors together. Now that the base shades are done, I decided to paint any accessories and accoutrements they might have. Any hooks were painted with lead belcher, and any bone fragments were painted with Screaming Skull and Skeleton Horde. Some of these guys have bone fragments in their hair, so they got the same treatment, but I forgot about their top knot scrunchies, which then got a wash of Carroburg Crimson. One of these lunatics has a severed hand sewn into his hair too, for some reason, so I gave this a wash of Plaguebearer flesh. Now, as I'm using his recipe, if I was the War Hipster, it's here that I'd say we could probably call these Mandrakes battle ready. But of course, we're not going to leave them here. So now, on to some highlighting. And to start, we are going to use Kislev flesh to highlight the Gore Grunta fur on the outer skirting. I also used this to highlight the spines on the shroud, but found this a little too stark, so wash these areas with Carroburg Crimson to bring it back down a bit. Now for a bit of an unusual technique. I took some Flash Gitz yellow, and diluted it heavily, till it was almost the consistency of water. Then, I didn't so much as brush the paint onto the runes, but kinda drop it in, and allowed capillary action to pull the paint into the recesses. I'd never actually tried this before, but I think it turned out alright. I then gave the skin a bit of a rough highlight with Dark Reaper. Not a total relayer, just some areas that would catch the light. And then added a further spot highlight with Rust Grey. Returning to the runes, I very carefully, well, as carefully as my hands would allow, dropped some Tesseract glow over the yellow. Before covering around half of the balefire, from the furthest point inwards, with Pterodon turquoise, and used a bit of water to feather out the transition. And then finally, I applied a quick highlight to the claves and hooks, using Stormhost silver. And so all that was left was the bases, on which I used Armageddon dust, Reikland flesh shade, and then a dry brush of Xandri dust. And there we have it. 5 Drukhari Mandrakes. I can honestly say, I think this one has been the most involved TTPITL project I've done to date, but I do love these models, and I wanted to do them justice. And, with the War Hipster's help, I think I have done just that. So, what do we think? Did I manage to keep the paint inside the lines? Please let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again for the next one. Have a great day everyone, and I'll see you later.